Alright, and we are back and ready to go for Perfect Cherry Blossom. Let's get going, shall we?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can start the run. Already. Oh. Hi, I'm Senki. This is a perfect cherry blossom that I have been practicing for 90 days. So this game is very friendly to beginners. You can try it if you want, but when it comes to Lunatic mode, nothing is friendly. The shot that I'm going to using is MarisaA. She has very high damage, but low range as a con. About the mechanic of the game, I will leave for commentator because I have to using my focus in this game. Okay, that's all.
Oh yeah, that's us. Hi, I'm Horai. I'll be on comms with family team.
Hello there, good afternoon. Thank you for having me, Horai, Senki, the Starry, and the whole of the Speedromizer crew.
Yes, I'm so glad that I participate in Speedromizer. This game has improved me a lot from L1CC player to L&B. I really love this game. This is my most favorite Toho now. Okay, now I should get started.
Alright, here we go. Okay, so family team and I can explain the mechanics while the relatively uneventful stage 1 goes by. Well, I guess this is the first of the Toho block, so
Explain the basics of Toho itself. What is Toho?
Toho
I covered that up already, family.
we did cover what Toho is, or sorry, did.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say here, those blue stars on the right are going to be irrelevant to this run because those are bombs, and they are not used in the no bombs category, as the name might imply. Those red stars, on the other hand, are going to be pretty important because that's the number of extra life Senki has, and we never want those to go below 0. Oh right, so those pink items you're seeing on the screen are going to fill up the little gauge at the bottom. At the bottom left, you can see the little pink number next to the plus sign. That is Senki's Cherry Plus, and when that reaches 50,000, Senki gets a supernatural border that can protect you from hits and help you instantly collect all items on the screen. And it lasts until it counts. And there are ways you can manage when you get those borders. I guess worth explaining that the blue items are point items, and while score is irrelevant here, point items are what gives you lives in this game, so want to collect as many of them as possible. And generally same with the red power items.
Here we have the first stage boss here, Letty Whiterock, which is as far as this game is concerned, even though it's relatively short as far as video games we are used to nowadays is concerned, Letty is kind of a live tutorial boss here. She sends a lot of very slow patterns, a lot of aimed stuff to kind of show you what's coming up ahead. She's relatively easy. Not that she cannot score a KO on you if you're not careful. Well, Senki was about to get into trouble there for a second.
We can also talk about the shot type choice, actually, because MarisaA is a very powerful shot. Has her disadvantages in that she only shoots in front of her, basically, but if you want power, MarisaA is a fair choice.
Yeah, MarisaA is debatably. Let's simplify things. She has very bad horizontal range, but her single target damage is absolutely excellent. She absolutely melts bosses. However, the range does come into play in some sections that are about to come up. Not necessarily right now, but later. It is kind of a give and take that the shots have here. We see here that Senki has achieved full power mode, which is the most powerful your character can be. These apparently, of course, are not going to be used in the run here, but there are some strategies that you can use, especially with this shot type, to not get full power and save up the screen clear that you get from it for a later, very hard section. Though those kinds of strategies aren't really marathon safe, so it's not really that unusual that we're not seeing those strats here.
Yeah. You have to carry that out across the whole game, which means dodging power items and potentially point items, so bit of a risk to be taking in a single credit of the marathon.
And speaking of point items, we have achieved our first extra life at the 50-point milestone, and this is a Mr. Chen. Oh, a Mr. Chen mid-spell. Pretty tragic, actually.
It is, but you know what?
Well,
Not
by the way,
tragic.
we call a miss. Miss is what we call a death in these games. It's an arcade term.
But if I may intervene for a sec, just to let everyone know, we have actually reached the $500 mark. So thank you so much, everybody. You're doing an amazing work. Thank you so much. Let's keep this event running smoothly and make it wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah. Pretty awesome. Well, as opposed to the Chen death, that is. But you know, at least there's a good thing in that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the funny thing is, in this game, deaths in the early game are not really the end of the world, because you get a fair number of lives, and the early game actually has some considerable threats. It's like, there's kind of a few threats scattered throughout this game. And that particular spell was not one of them, unfortunately, but like, usually your pace in this game is going to consider the possibility of a stage 2 death, I feel, in a marathon.
Actually, has the story explain how long the game is in the sense of how many levels there are? That the game has 6 stages in the normal campaign.
Oh yeah, 6 stages is what we're going to be seeing. And that, after that, it's the end, but although this game is like one of the longer Toho games, so it'll be a bit. Okay, the spell is a root, so looks a little bit precarious at the end, but I think we're good. Okay, and now for the first major threat of the game. The spell is hard.
And this spell is very fast, very dense. A lot of very varied bullet speeds here. It kind of trips you up a lot. Definitely probably the hardest thing in the first half of the game.
Alright, okay, so we're about to see the best Toho character, but while that's happening, I guess we can talk a little bit more about Cherry Plus management, which is not necessarily a huge factor in survival runs, but it is worth noting you can unfocus shoot to gain Cherry Plus faster, and also trying to cancel a lot of bullets if you want a border is a good idea. And there's a border, and that's going to help collect items in Stage 3. There are certain parts on the stages where you would really like to have a border, because it's going to help you collect so many point items. Getting every extra life available in this game is not a trivial thing to do, and it usually doesn't even happen in survival, I feel. Well, I guess it depends on the player.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, depends what you mean by the last one. Usually the last one... The last one before they start increasing the requirements is the 800 one.
Oh, Okay, I guess I used that term a bit unclear. Like, oh, let's watch this because the spell's pretty scary.
Yeah, the requirements for earning extra lives through the point items keep radically increasing, but after 800 they stop increasing. And it's just 200 each. There's the life! There's the life! Yes!
Nice.
For a second I thought they were gonna miss it.
Yeah, as long as you know what you're doing, though, it's gonna be... And we even got a border for this section, which is very nice to see. Nice macro.
You people have time for a quick donation, perhaps?
If you are a casual fan of Toho, you might recognize some bits of pieces of this theme going on here, and you definitely recognize the character. A little bit of bias there from Horai saying that this is the best Toho character, but you know.
Oh. Well, it's true. Okay, that aside, Orleans dolls. This spell is static but randomly rotated, so you have to memorize a bunch of different things that can happen, and read them in advance. It's hard.
Nicely done. Yeah. Here's the funniest attack in the game. And it's over. Yeah. Nothing happens. There's a little bit of a funny bug there with that attack, where it's set to have no health, so it ends as soon as the built-in invincibility that all the bosses have wears out. Funnily enough, in an early version of this game, kind of an alpha demo version of this game, that attack worked properly, so that somehow broke in the process of actually finishing the game.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. It was correct in the version of this, the demo of this game that came out 2 weeks after EOSD, the previous game. But in the final game, it's broken. This is a pretty challenging one as well. I think it's also static random rotated as many things are in this game, but it can be challenging to find the gaps.
You do it about the same way each time. It's a little scary though. And here comes Alice's final, which you can misdirect it into the top right corner just like Senki just did, and that's going to make it a fair bit easier. You can actually do it without doing that, it's just a little bit scarier, but good to take the advantage.
Scary, nice gap.
Oh dear. Well done there.
Whatever, Marisa hammers bosses into the floor anyway.
Alright, we're out of the woods for now.
That thing got me scared, dude. Like, this ending, like, this final was weird.
Like, LNN stage 3. What we mean by LNN, by the way, is L is the difficulty, Lunatic, and NN is no miss, no bomb. So basically, when we say that, it's just our funny term for beating the game perfectly on the hardest difficulty. And that was a perfect stage 3.
Yeah. There's a third end, in fact, because border breaks are also a thing that can happen. I forgot to mention, but if you get hit during a border, you can break it, or if you try to bomb, that manually breaks the border, and that saves you a life. It's not ideal for
Alright, so
perfect
just want to
survival.
kick in real quick, if you allow me to, just because I wanted to explain, we got quite a few donations coming, and because for first half, not much happens there other than, like, the new shooting sections. So first of all, we have a $25 donation, which is actually the donation that allowed us to reach the 500 threshold. From Nikosar, who says, thanks for having me, Speedromizer, have $5 for each minute of your coin over time. And the $25 are going towards the Mario Party Character Select Partner Top 2 incentive, and they chose Wario. But not only that, we also have a $25 as well donation from none other than, and if you're a Toho player or a Toho fan, you know this username, Yatsuzume, who says, now you're doing it as Marisa, good job. Good luck with the marathon, and put these dollars to Yomu for 10 desires, because that's right. One of the incentives we have for TD, or Toho, for 10 desires, is going to be the character choice. And Yats chose Yomu. And because we keep this going, because the Toho community is there tonight on Speedromizer, we have $10 from Terragat, who says, just a reminder that Void Stranger is peaked. And the incentive goes towards Toho 13, 10 desires, pick the character, Reimu. I take it away for Lily, shall you?
Ooh. Alright, so in the meantime, here's the mid-boss, Lily White. She's never had a portrait in the history of Toho. This part's kind of hard. Oh,
nice
whoa, nice iframes! Okay, so I didn't even talk about it because I wasn't sure it was going to come up, but at the end of the border, you get some iframes where you're just completely invincible for a very short amount of time, and Senki just used that masterfully.
Wow, was that a plan? He just saw and rammed right into the bullet.
This is a tricky section where you have to know which enemies are safe to shoot and which ones you'd prefer to just not shoot and just stream. And the trickiest part about this, at least for me, is that where they spawn will depend on how fast you kill Lily White.
This stage 4 here in PCB is very famous for being extremely long and sometimes a little bit repetitive. Though in like a storyline sense, it is kind of neat, especially with the background music. It kind of tells a story of ascension as the heroines literally, they go from, you know, the surface of the earth and they rise up against a challenge to reach the gates of the netherworld, which is kind of heaven. And you get the storyline told through you know, the resistance of the enemies and the music. It's quite neat. It's something that we have to comment, especially because the point of Toho is kind of to be like an interactive album for the music of ZUN. So commenting about these things is very neat because it's kind of the actual goal of the series is to be like a pretty visual art album for the music. And this stage tells of like an entire story, and it's really neat in that sense.
Old school shmup fans did not like this game, and I bet this stage was the reason why, but I am glad ZUN stuck to his guns.
I don't know, I fast forward that stage in TRS, so don't ask me.
Alright.
I mean, when you play the stage section a million times, it kind of loses its luster, but you know.
I mean, nobody ever dies.
Oh, that's not how you do this, Non.
That is a lyric of first non-death. Okay, worth mentioning, the first sister you fight is dependent on which character you choose, and then you get to kind of choose it for yourself later. We'll explain that when we get to it.
Do you feel like he's moving a little too much during these?
Maybe a little bit, but it's Lyrica, nons. Whatever works, works.
Fine, Lyrica released like the 1.1 way.
Right, and
so after this
see,
point, there's a mechanic with this fight. What is it?
Right. So as you can see, Senki was mostly damaging the red one, Lyrica, again. And that's because Lyrica arguably has the easiest attacks going forward. So
the
we're
one
gonna
you
fight
damage the
two
most
more
is the one you fight.
attacks. Right.
Yeah, this spell here is actually, it looks pretty trippy, but if you pick the right lane, it's actually very easy.
Yeah, just don't get pushed to the bottom, basically.
Like the circle, you know. Just saying.
Ooh, or that can happen, but
These
it's all
aren't the
safe.
right lanes! These aren't the right lanes!
I mean, if I was right, it was the wrong line. If you pick the right line, we'll be fine.
The right lanes, by the way, are the ones that don't push you to the edges of the screen.
Everything I just said about Lyrica being a good sister to fight applies to Pirate and Lunatic, by the way.
Yeah, she's the hardest one on normal, arguably.
Yeah. Sorry, forgot to mention that.
Yeah, this game is balanced very funny across difficulties, and some Lunatic strategies are not compatible with normal, which is a difficulty I imagine most people would play it.
Yeah. This was the game where Zune separated spell cards as different spells by difficulty because there's a stage in this game that you unlock by capturing a certain number of spell cards. And in EOSD, they were considered the same if they had the same name. Not always the case across difficulties, but still. Alright, stage 5. Pretty chill for a moment, and then there's some mildly scary stuff.
Speaking of which, we have actually a $5 donation coming in from LeBron James!
LeBron
The comment
James
says,
himself.
hi. It just says hi.
Hi.
And it's,
Hi, LeBron.
Yeah, hi LeBron James. And the incentives going toward
Yay.
13 10 desires, pick Reimu. Honestly, because Reimu is a harder shot, quote unquote, than like Yomu. I mean, it depends on what the player has practiced, but I will say as a whole, Yomu is still like an easier time to just go through the game at that level. So I'd say vote for Reimu, people. It'll be more interesting.
Yeah, but if you want to get good at TD, invest in Yomu stonks. But that's a conversation for the TD run.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like we'll see Yomu in this game or anything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I cannot possibly imagine who the next boss is. We just let the points fall, okay.
Alright,
Oh,
so this is Yomu.
I was setting up the misdirect here, that's nice.
Nice misdirect. Going for it again. Very smooth.
Yep. Like most of the Yumunons are aimed, so you can actually, by going above her, you can kind of like cheese a good chunk of them. Very useful. Very useful tech if you plan to.
Yeah, they're aimed. There are so many strategies, and all of them are valid except just staying at the bottom.
And pressing the X key in that specific kind of run, but yeah.
Yeah. Don't press the bomb button if it's a run that does not use bombs.
Nice iframe!
Wow, nice!
Wow!
This guy is just showing off the iframe feature.
And a good time to do it too, because that spell card can get very scary. Yomu stays lower on every difficulty, so it's more and more dense. The higher up you go.
Actually,
Sorry,
crazy.
he gets lower on higher difficulties. I said that totally, but it was scary
I mean, it's
micro.
still rather
but-
strict though. Very easy to just bump into a bullet trying to show it off.
I think it's 40 frames of iframes or something. 40 frames is 2/3 of a second.
I don't have the reaction time, buddy.
Yes, you do. If 40
nice
frames is
misdirects.
really slow reaction.
Uh-oh. Okay, we're good.
Don't underestimate me when I'm
This
talking.
should be good.
This aim sequence is exactly the kind of thing that's probably scary to people watching who might not be as familiar with shmups, but those are completely aimed or aimed around you.
So Cap or no?
Yomu does absolutely destroy newer players because her attacks are very dense, but they're usually aimed. So if you don't know about that, she's not helping my point.
Yeah,
This is the
I think
hardest
you really
attack in
fought
the game,
for it
probably.
there, but that was a rough wave.
Yeah, but that's the hardest attack in the game, probably.
Yeah, hell got.
The hardest boss attack, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got the
No,
hardest
we're not
spell.
counting spam.
I mean, if you're a
Not
tunable
counting
DC
stage
player,
6
this is the
spam
hardest
quite
one,
yet.
alright?
Is that so?
Actually, no, the hardest non-spell until World Cup is retirement number. We'll get back to that.
Okay, and now for another not-so-easy Yomu attack. There are strategies for this one. Let's see what Senki does. I don't even know how to explain how these are aimed. They like kind of start going towards where you are.
I think the way that
I don't know how to
it is supposed to work is that Yomu slashes down and that has a hitbox, and every bullet that passes through the slash starts to like orbit around it, and then it gets slowly aimed at you. Is more or less how it works.
Okay, thank you.
I've always winged that spell. I have to confession. Like,
I mean, that spell is completely wingable, let's be honest. And so is this one,
Yeah.
which is actually... It looks horrifying because you're getting attacked from every single angle in existence, but it's very simple.
Yeah.
You literally just
Relatively-
go to the right.
yeah, realistically,
Go to the
you're
right
never
and
really
don't
gonna
go
pay
back.
attention to top lane. Oh, nice squeeze there, actually, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
and now
realistically,
actually
you're
this
only
might
really
be
going to care about the aim stuff.
nice misdirect. I have no idea what strategy.
This is aimed, but it is... actually kind of a spam, but it is aim. This is not a great angle, and I don't think going to the right is the right call here. And well, very well, they didn't then. This should be it, this should be it. Greed for damage, and you can do it!
Woo!
Nice epic slowdown for the Yomu one miss.
Isn't it like just one miss Yomu, which is pretty good. Before the meat of stage 6 happens, I just want to say we have a $6 donation from Brick, and the comment says, Meister. And the incentive goes towards picking Yomu into 13. Now, chat, you gotta vote for Raven.
Okay.
Alright, and now for the hardest thing in PCB.
Easily.
This is the actual hardest thing in the game, and you're gonna see why.
Hap. Oh!
That clump at the end.
Half a second away!
No!
This one you don't have to misdirect for some reason. I don't even know why you don't,
They're
but it
static.
just works.
Like, you can't even misdirect them, I believe. Or can you?
Yeah, you can't, I don't... I think they're slightly aimed, but whatever, nobody misdirects it and it works. This is completely static, so it plays out the exact same every time. So there is a funny route you can do here, NNE, which is what we call it.
Yeah, because like there is a safe spot, but the safe spot actually changes throughout the spell, so you gotta...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that spell pranks you by having the, when the bullets turn white, they go a little faster, I think. Or they certainly don't slow down that much, if at all.
The final boss, Saigyoji Yuyuko! He's a ghost.
Yay!
She's a ghost, and she's trying to resurrect whoever's buried under the tree. It could be anyone.
Just herself!
But she doesn't know that.
Nice. Yeah, Yuyuko is a very cinematic fight, though, especially for a final boss, all of her attacks have relatively simple answers. Relatively speaking.
Not
Mostly just throws out big, scary,
You're not
slow
prepared
attacks
to
that
get
look cool. And nicely done.
I believe Furry can actually just like do no restream. Right?
Yeah, a lot of characters can. So here's the thing, now she opens up that big fan behind her. That takes half damage, but it does extend her hitbox all the way to the edges of the screen.
And those bubbles are aimed. It's hard to tell, but they are.
So I believe the fan only takes like half the damage than the boss would normally take though.
Yeah, it's about half the damage. Which is why if you play the laser shot, which is MarisaA, it actually damages both of them at the same time. And it deals way more damage than you're supposed to deal.
This is just a route. If the runner knows, he'll be fine.
Yeah, even if it's a route, this one is really not the simplest route ever made.
No spin.
So it is screw-upable.
No spin though. Yeah, I agree with Anna here. No spin. That's the mage.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
think we're gonna see the bubble micro strat. Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Or maybe just a little bit. Okay.
This one is also a route, but it's also not that uncommon to die to it, even if you know what you're doing. It is a little spooky. Nicely done.
Butterfly delusion.
Yeah, so here's the deal with the spell, because it looks kind of funky. She shoots these lasers here, and they curve towards you, and then they explode into butterflies. So you're trying to weave around the blue aim bullets around here as this thing chases you. It's pretty cool, but it's simpler than it looks. Kind of go in a triangular motion, and it mostly misdirects itself. Here's the non that we jokingly call the retirement non. Slightly unfair. Yeah. But yeah, it's
come on.
The cyan bullets aim out away from you, but the blue bullets aim towards you, and then the green butterflies, I think they're static or something.
It can catch people off guard. It shouldn't, but it can.
I will say, it was taking way too long to die.
All right,
Yeah, because
now
of the
for
very
another
little
boot.
range she has.
Grace? I'll be Grace in Sumizome. I'll be Grace in Sumizome.
Oh, this is
This is not
Hirokawa.
Sumizomi, this is Horikawa.
Did I say Sumizome? Please ignore my lack of...
Sumizomi is the
Please
next
ignore my
one.
French brain when I'm tired, please.
Big
Alright.
money over here.
Here's
Yeah.
Sumizome.
Well, now I want to see a Sumizome Grace.
Yeah, well, let's... Sumizomi is the final attack in the game. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So it's very,
wink,
very high health, very dense.
Yeah, as you can see,
Very slow.
Yiko has no health bars left, so this is clearly the last attack.
Yeah. This is the final attack in the game, so, you know.
This is also
lot of
Yiko's
stakes
hardest
here.
attack, probably.
So there's a lot of spam in this attack. Meanwhile, these butterflies that she shoots very slowly
Ooh.
around you. This is not the usual way you do this.
Oh,
They actually almost got away with that.
yeah.
It's
Almost got
over.
away.
GG.
Bubbles, though.
GG.
GG.
It's over.
Alright, it's
Why is
time
the game
for
not
the
over?
Butterfly to be resurrected.
Gasp! Actually, it's not over.
Do you want to talk about the two ways to approach that spell? Because I don't know which one our runner is gonna. Well, now we know.
Well, there you
Ooh.
go. They're doing it high.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Resurrection
wait.
Butterfly,
Yeah.
Yuyuko wakes up from her death, and then she starts shooting this attack for 65 seconds, and you can do nothing about it but survive. You
You
can't
have two
even
ways to break
power
that.
cancel it. She is
Either
that
at the bottom,
powerful. Ah!
and do it the soon intended way, or go high and try to preemptively dodge the butterfly before they expand. It looks scary, but it's actually very consistent. It depends on preferences, really. You can just do whatever.
Yeah, doing it this way looks absolutely horrifying because it is, but it's arguably easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
The
looks
intended way is
terrifying,
doing it at the bottom.
but yeah, like I hate bottom. You're never gonna see me do this at the bottom first.
They're
Yeah, I
both
think
valid,
pretty
but
scary.
this is easier for some
I
people.
leave
There's more than
I
one way to
know.
resurrect a butterfly.
and jump
Yeah.
like that. And let's
There you
Nice.
go.
Alright. Thank you.
GG. That was like
GG.
5 or 6
Yeah.
miss, right?
Did we get a single
I think that
border
was like
break?
6 miss,
think so.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
I don't
six
think
miss,
there
no
was any
break,
border
right?
break.
I don't think so.
6 miss, no border break, but 2 iframes. Huh.
Yeah, 2 iframe abuse. That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
That's 2 more than most runs get.
Okay, what should I do about any blocker or something?
Yeah, pull out your ending blocker for us.
Yeah, right. Because there's this thing in Toho where like the main creator Zune does not really want people to like share the ending. So we have this tradition on events like this where players put what they call an ending blocker over the game, which lets players be very creative, and we oftentimes have a lot of funny stuff happen. Sadly, I can't say it right now, but I hope it's funny.
Yeah.
Actually,
I hope it's a good one. But yes, this has been the 7th Project Shrine Maiden, Toho Yoyomu, or a perfect cherry blossom.
Not to be confused with Yomu.
Yeah. Well, her name is literally in the title, Yoyomu. 6 miss, yes, we were correct. It
Yeah.
was 6 miss.
No bump, no border break. Pretty good, honestly, for a live setting like that. Pretty good as well, yeah. Oh, I see your PB is like what? Like your PB
Is
like
it
this?
2 miss?
Ooh. That's a pretty
Yeah,
sweet
so-
PB, honestly. Did you actually discover like a started PCB like LNB because of Speedromizer or
SPD. Yay. Very brief final context we can give you before we go. This game has a replay system. If you play Doom, you call this a demo system, where you can record your runs after they're done and then play them back in-game and share them. And it's a very small file, very handy.
Yep. We even have
Yep.
shows where we watch that.
Yeah, almost like a Toho replay showcase, some might say.
I know, right? That'd be sick. If only someone had made that. Wink.
Yeah. If only maybe Speedromizer had a partnership with the Toho Replay Showcase channel, which is why we're here in this Toho block at Speedromizer
No.
2025.
If only the owner was currently hosting. Wink.
Yeah. If only the 2 commentators were TRS members. Okay.
Well, I believe that's it for PCB. That was fun.
Yeah.
See you guys in the next one, I suppose?
Thank you, everyone. I'm enjoying. Thank you for having me in Speedromizer.
We'll see you at the next Toho run. Goodbye.
Bye.
Alrighty, what an amazing PCB run, and what a way to start the Toho block. Really, really cool run. GG to the players. 6 with no on the border break is honestly not an easy thing to achieve, especially not in a live setting like that. If you've ever seen like Toho runs in the past or anything, these games are not really marathon friendly, so to speak. You can have lots of... Right, I'm speaking too fast. I'm fine. But yeah. You can have lots of unexpected stuff happens, like early game misses you are not ready for it to happen or things like that. It's just a thing, you gotta deal with it. And sometimes you even get a 2cc by Game Over in Stage 1. But surely, no one on this schedule of upcoming runners would, or commentators would ever do this, right? But yeah. In any case, I hope you enjoyed the start of the Toho block. I just want to keep you people updated very quickly. Let me refresh the page to make sure I give you about the donation fight for the 10 Desire character pick. And I just want to say that Yomu is currently ahead of Reimu by $1 entire. Reimu is at 30, Yomu is at 31. Let's fix that, shall we? Let us fix this. And yeah, very quickly as well, if you like Speedomizer and would like to help, volunteer signups are open before any event. No matter what interests you, there will be something to do regardless of your experience. For instance, I sure didn't know how any of this hosting business worked before I signed up. As well as we greatly appreciate anyone's incentive to help, we accept as much people as we can so everyone can take part in this wonderful adventure. And with that said though, we will see you after the